Hello, my name is Jaya Singh, and I'm currently serving as the state president of New Jersey FBLA. Today, I'm going to be sharing my advice with you on how to have an amazing impromptu speaking performance. And as a plus, I'll be doing this video impromptu as well. So first, let's start off. We're going to separate this into two different sections, your prep and when you're at the actual event. So when I say prep, I mean what you're doing to prepare for this event, not necessarily the 10 minutes that you get to actually write your speech. So when you're preparing, don't always try to keep writing full speeches and then giving them out and doing it over and over again. Yes, that's a very effective tactic. I used to do simulations with all the time with my brother, and I would do 10 minutes and then I would give a speech and then he would grade me on it. That's a really great place to start because then you get to see where you're lacking, where you might need to work on, and where you need to gain those points. But once you do that, there's only so much you can grow by just trying the same tactics over and over. So, what I would recommend is sit down and come up with examples and a method. So, what I mean by that is have a general structure of how you want to write your speech. So that way, when you go into actually doing the event, you have a basic understanding of what you're going to be doing. So in your method, you should have a general structure. Sometimes your English teachers might tell you, have an introduction, have your evidence, and then give your analysis. I would absolutely recommend that. There are so many acronyms that you can come up with, whether you want to have an introduction and then you want to give an anecdote and then analysis and then evidence, or however you would like to structure your essay, your speech. I would definitely recommend having at least like a layout that you might want to write down on your index so you have better organization of your thoughts on the go when you have 10 minutes. And then also have examples ready. Something that was really helpful for me was just coming up with a few universal examples that you can actually use for a lot of different speeches. So have an example of leadership. So I used Mahatma Gandhi. Have an example of innovation, Bill Gates. Anything that you'll be able to speak to, things that are universal and you'll be able to relate whatever prompt you get to that story would be amazing. So you already have a great layout of what you're going to say. Now, when you actually get to the event, in your 10 minutes, do not try to write a whole speech. If you can't speak on the dot by then and you haven't been practicing, a whole speech and trying to read off an index card is really not going to help in your delivery. Instead, you're going to be looking down the whole time. You might be quiet. You might be trying to figure out what your handwriting says. That's not going to work. So in your preparation time, make sure to use your method. Write down if you have a certain structure of how you like to lay out things on your paper, then do that. Come up with those individual bullet points and make sure to write them clearly. And don't be afraid to use the front and back as well, because you'll be able to glance down as long as you're not trying to read whole sentences. Or if you're someone who would like to write whole sentences, so that way you get your thoughts out. And then when you're actually giving it, since you already wrote those thoughts, you already have an idea of what you're going to say. That could be great as well for you if that works. So make sure to try out all of these strategies beforehand. And lastly, when you're giving the performance, make sure to have good eye contact, good energy, good facial expressions. A smile goes a long way for the judges. And make sure to always have good etiquette, shake their hands when you get in and when you leave, and always just have fun with it. If you're stressed and you're tense, you're not going to give it as an amazing speech as you would if you were just going in there and, doing your thing and having a speech. And if you enjoy public speaking, you'll be having a great time. And if you don't enjoy public speaking, see it as an opportunity for you to grow. Good luck, and I can't wait to see how you do.